You Were Born for This is a shocking book. It's shocking because it takes you from where you are right at this moment and it unglues you from where you're sitting and moves you to a whole new way of seeing life. It's not shocking because it hurts. It's not shocking because it's too hard to believe. It's shocking because it becomes too easy to believe. A new way of living and a new way of thinking. We call this a new way to see the world. Now let me ask you a beginning question here. What would you say if I told you that you missed a miracle yesterday? I don't mean you missed it on TV. I mean, you missed it. That God in heaven wanted to do a miracle for somebody that was near you, and they wanted to do that through you. That you were to be the vehicle, the person, the delivery person, to take the miracle that heaven wants, and actually through you and what you said or what you did, because heaven would guide you. Because that person next to you could have been begging God that morning in a desperate way, "Dear God, please send somebody to help me." And maybe you were the only person around. That thought's mind-blowing, isn't it? That God could use you. And yet this whole subject of a miracle is filled with such confusion, isn't it? I don't know about you, but some of the things I see that people say are miracles, I shake my head and say, I'm not too sure about that. But let me talk to you about some worlds or different lands out there to just kind of put this in perspective. Here's the first one, the land of the spectacular, the lands of the signs and the wonders, the land where people stand up and throw down their wheelchair and they go skipping. Or the people that couldn't see and now they can see. All kinds of miracles. Now, if you believe that, because some of those things, couldn't they be true? Some of them could be false. But if you're sitting there, you're saying to yourself, I can't do that. I can't get on the stage and do all those things. And so what you do is you lock yourself out of that land and saying, that may be true, that may not all be true, but it's not for me, and therefore you're out of the picture. Let's go to this other opposite side. Maybe we can call that the land of good works. This is the land where we study about miracles in the Bible. We believe them. We're kind to each other. We do good works. But we don't really expect a miracle to happen. I mean, miracles are mostly for long time ago or faraway lands. You know, some missionary comes from the darkest parts of Africa or Asia and tells you this unbelievable story that you say, I could never picture myself doing that. Guess what you did? You took yourself out of that one too. Therefore, you don't think I could ever be involved in a miracle in this land. I could never be involved in this land because they don't happen. And therefore, miracles? A book on miracles? I don't fit in that book. Whoa, wait a minute. Could it be that between these two lands is another one? A territory that maybe you've never really explored. We call this the everyday miracle territory. It's a land that God wants you to explore and investigate, put on your thinking cap, see if it makes sense to you, and then if you have the courage, if you have the courage to risk walking into a territory you've never gone before and actually giving heaven a shot. I want you to think about this for a minute. Most people I've met anywhere in the world, everywhere in the world, they have at least one story in their life or their family's life where God definitely intervened and did something. They say, let me tell you the time when God did. And there's no doubt in the family. That was a miracle, there's no doubt. So what would you do if you found out that there's a way to connect into that way of living? I mean, really. So instead of it happening once in a lifetime, or once in somebody else's, in your family life, what would you do if there was a, if there was a key that unlocked this whole new panorama, this whole new way of living? We call that the everyday miracle territory. And that's what You Were Born for This is about. And I want to invite you right now. Come on, let's go. Let's go visit the everyday miracle territory.